Hello, and welcome back to Kirogre Studios' Remnant Lunar Archon, Session 59. We're having a good time. Hope you are too. We should have a good session tonight. Let's see,
No countdown.
Huh?
There was no countdown.
No one was talking. I didn't feel like I needed to.
Jump scare!
Everyone was
Jump
silent. Jump scaring y'all with the opening? I mean, that works. I'm okay with that. Oh, who was it last time? Was it...
It was me, wasn't it?
You? I think it was, because you gave a, recap of
backwards.
the whole arc instead of just the fight, which is basically that whole session. So, let's see.
But I did it backwards.
You did
So.
do it backwards. You gave it in a weird
That
way.
takes talent.
It
Doesn't take time. It's just how my brain works. It's
like,
one thing
can
leads
you say
to
the
the
alphabet
other.
backwards?
No.
Then it is...
The alphabet
also,
backwards.
Haha. Nice job.
Also, what is backwards?
Backrooms.
Backrooms.
This is a fundamental thing that my brain does not understand.
But you
What
gave
is
the thing
forward?
backwards,
What is right?
and then
What
you
is left?
said that you gave it backwards, which means you
I
comprehended
did.
that backwards
What is
was
the
different
etymology
from
of
forward.
backwards?
I assume it has something to do with the words back and ward.
I learned what threshold came from this morning, actually.
Where'd it come from?
Is it because they threshed the rugs?
It was
Or from
so
threshing wheat, maybe?
old Tudor homes used to have hay called thresh all over their floors to insulate the rooms and whatever.
Mhm.
And on windy days and such, the thresh would blow around and such. So they had little wooden tiny little wooden walls in the entryway of every door to keep the thresh in the room that it's supposed to be in. So threshold.
The holder of the thresh.
I did not know that. The more you know.
Garand, you have a good time with Jackie, but do not successfully get another Jackie point from that one.
Boo.
But it is your turn to give the recap.
All right. Well, then let us see. So we successfully dominated the bandit camp. There was no danger at all. We were so fantastic. Particularly me. Good grief. I mean, I didn't even take a wound. It was so... Oh, wait, that's a complete lie. No, I nearly died. It was delightful.
It was actually
terrifying.
the opposite of that. I think you may have had a concussion, and it's affecting Garand's memory of what happened.
So, nearly died. Thicket saved the day. Had the, got the rest. Had the talk. Before the talk, we saw the terrifying raven monster that I just drew with the most delightful and skilled hand that has ever touched it. Again, I'm just not telling the truth. But we get to have the talk. Gambit makes a great point about better communication. We kind of hash things out, and Garan realizes that he can't really be mad. Adam, he's taking responsibility, acknowledging the hey, that's not that's not me.
I would share in both because I thought we
There
should
it
be
is. Okay.
blessed by both images.
There you go. All right, that's good. I think I like the horse better. And we make our way back. There's a minor hiccup when we enter, but our weirdness was enough to just make the guy not care enough. And then we proceed to kind of get everything settled again. So we are back in town. We're back in town, and we're doing some stuff. We're looking up some things. We're trying to find some junk.
Yeah, the party.
There's a lot of vampire lore.
Oh,
There was
God,
yes.
vampire lore.
That's true. That doesn't really matter to me or Garan as much as it might to some others. But yes, there was vampire lore.
Y'all learned about this world's version of Dracula, who's not Dracula, and is inspired by other things. But y'all did learn about Corvus Hain, Bale's grandfather, paternally, technically, but kind of not.
And this is completely unrelated, but I also have found the most enjoyable chocolate ice cream, perhaps of my lifetime, and it is the Tillamook brownie batter.
Good to
Tillamook has
know.
always been goated.
Well, what is Tillamook?
It's a brand.
It's a
Well, I figured
brand.
that much, but like, is it at the Walmart? Is it
It's
something you find?
from
Yes.
Oregon.
Is it in
Yeah,
the
it's in
fancy
one-
pants section?
You can find it at Walmart. It's like slightly more bougie than Bluebell, but not as bougie as Haagen-Dazs.
Fair enough.
It was buy one get one last week at Publix.
Nice.
Publix, a place I hear about more than I go.
I wish.
Well, find another job, and then your wish will be granted. That takes effort. You know what doesn't take effort? Me saying the time, which is Wednesday, the 24th of May, year 417, post-schism, at 3 p.m. Actually, I'm going to say it's gotten all the way to 4 p.m. as y'all have taken time to look at different books. You've found more or less fan fiction about Corvus Hain. It's written in a very corny way about him and Anastasia, the woman who has reportedly was the one who killed him in the end. So, potentially bad times.
Oh yeah,
Or-
and I know a song.
Whoever's enemy.
Yes, and Garan knows a song that oddly seems to be sung from the point of view of Corvus.
And I'm definitely going to be singing that when we are at the fancy schmancy pants ball.
True, that is the plan. But it is 4 p.m. Y'all have taken the time in the library. It is currently raining outside. It's gotten pretty heavy. Fortunately, y'all got back into town around when it... Well, actually, y'all gotten back in town a bit after it had started to rain, but it's gotten heavier. What would y'all like to do? What is the party choosing to do next?
Gron's going to want to see about getting like cleaned up with a bath or whatever, and then prepare for the show for the night. And if John's feeling up to it, if he wants to accompany again, if not, it's fine.
Can I ask the necromancy lady if we can buy the fanfiction book?
What do you think her name is?
Don't remember.
I'm asking.
It's like
Turns out that's the first trivia question.
It's not going to be the
It's
first
like,
trivia question, but now that I'm going to do this, I'm definitely going to have some of the trivia questions be names. Her name is Marley.
it's something really.
I knew
sweet
it started
for
with an
you.
M.
It's very cute and southern, and not at all what you'd expect from a necromancer. Yes, she is currently up at the front. She is reading her own book. You're not sure what it is. There's no proper label on it, but she's reading a book.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
I was just wondering, I know this is a library and you don't typically like leave books or like give out books that don't come back, but could I buy this book?
Let me see it. She takes the book from you. She looks at a few different notations inside the jacket of the book. It appears they do have a record system that was explained to Doug a bit ago. That's a more or less fantasy Dewey Decimal System.
Oh no.
I'm sorry. There'd be a consideration if there was more than one copy that we have, but this is the only copy we have, and as such, I can't sell it.
Could I pay someone to copy it?
To copy it, sure. We could work on making you another copy, or you could write the copy yourself if you'd like. You can even... Technically, there's a way to make multiple copies. We have a magical quill that will copy down whatever you write with whatever quill you connect it to. So
Ooh.
you can make 2 copies at once when you copy something down. But it's not automatic. You would have to have someone do it. It would take some time. He looks at the book. It's not horribly long. Looks to be about... She flips through it. There's no page numbers necessarily. I'm gonna go with 180, 200 pages around there. So it might take a bit of time to copy all of it down. But it could definitely be done. Do you have a time that you're leaving?
What day is it?
It's Wednesday now, so Sunday. So
Wednesday.
like 4 days. 5.
We're planning on leaving on Sunday. Is that too short of a time frame?
What a good question that Micah doesn't know. How
180
long?
pages is not all that long.
No.
Yeah,
She
but they don't.
said-
But they're not
But
typing.
also they might be busy.
She also
And
said
it's
it
by
wasn't
hand.
that long, but it's by hand. How long does it take to copy page of words by hand?
And can we reduce any of that time by, like, getting rid of anything extra flowery, like, making it look pretty? Like, it doesn't have to be an exact copy. It's more like to have the story. Because I haven't even looked at the book, so that may not even matter. But
Let's see.
How many
Like,
of those
effectively
pages
turning it
are
into a-
illustrations?
I mean, like, turn it into a paperback. Like, it's just the words. Yeah, I
I'm
don't even.
reminded of my days when I would do library
Okay,
reading
apparently,
competitions,
let's see. Where's my intern?
and I'd have ebooks
computer
with no page
calculator?
numbers.
Apparently, according to this other thing, it takes about 10 minutes to copy down a single page using handwriting. Doesn't specify the size of the. Oh, it's for half-size pages for what we have, which can be more closely interactive with the book. So.
$10 minutes. That feels long.
It would take about 33 hours. So I'm going to say, to give a better view of it, it would take... I don't know, that also feels a bit long to me. I don't know. We're going to say it would take about... Yeah, because then...
There's
mean, if
also
it can-
magic.
We'll
Be
say,
ready by Sunday.
we'll say
if it-
20 hours. It would take about 20 hours. So if you were to find someone who's willing to work for that time, it could potentially be done by Sunday, or one of you could spend the time here writing it. I'd actually be willing to give it to you. Well, actually, at that point, it's probably going to be free anyway if you're willing to copy it. I'd probably ask you to have a additional pen scribed into it, so there's an additional copy here for the next person. Let's see. The time. Are you looking to hire someone to do it, or
Well, how expensive would that be?
it's no, it's not entirely right. I'm gonna say around 50 gold. Especially because of how rushed it is and the quality of work that would be needed for it. Potentially faster depending on who we ask, but it's not necessarily on the cheap side.
Okay. I think I will probably just copy it myself. I don't think I'll have enough time to do it before we leave, so maybe I'll come back to it later.
Okay. Or copy what you can.
That's fair.
Right, and the book is here for when you need it. You can get started today or tomorrow or whatever. Just let me know and I'll help you get it set up.
All right. So
See, it's one of those weird things
What?
where I'm like, is the time correct? I don't know. I'm doubting the time, but at the same time, I have no reference for how long it takes to copy down the words like that. So, yeah. But back to the party. Thicket has organized his plan.
Did we inform the is it blacksmith that the bandits were taking care of?
The only people that we told so far were the lady that hired them for Friday for that special thing. Then, and she hired me for the performance to distract everybody.
Yeah,
I don't think we told
not told Grace yet. The only people y'all told so far was the guard out front, and then
Technically, we did tell him.
convinced him you were high, so he doesn't believe you, or at least isn't going to tell anyone for a couple of days.
So are we just playing it low key until after Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we could tell the Lord Lady Librarian. I think we could tell her, and I think we could tell the one that's hiring Gambit.
Ooh, I have an
Lady
idea of
Grace
something we
Savania.
could do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We
Do tell.
have we found a necklace or something at the bandits. We could take it to the jeweler and ask if she knows where it came from, or if she'd want to buy it from us.
I'm sorry, who was buying what? I apologize, I missed that.
We had found a necklace when we were getting all this stuff from the bandit camp.
Oh yeah.
So we could take it to the jeweler and see if she knows where it came from, and or if she wants to buy it from us.
Okay. That's the necklace that I found that we detected was not magic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Ground's fine with whatever we do with that. Micah, with in regards to John, are you going to do anything for like John to be up there helping me or anything, or that he's
sorry,
just?
I thought I'd said it. Yeah,
You probably did.
Probably come. No, I didn't, but I intended to, and I'm now remembering I did not. You got sidetracked. Yeah, I can help play with you. Sounds like fun.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna get clean. Also,
Yeah,
Gambit.
he looks at himself. I'm gonna do the same in a practice for this one.
All right. Gambit, before I forget, if possible tonight, I'd like to talk with you and Doug as well, and I mean, I guess even John. But you and I, Gambit, are built a little similarly, and I thought maybe you could help me in case I'm ever in that position again where I need to defend myself, and maybe you could you could see like maybe the difference between my armor and your armor. Like I could try your armor on, like, and I mean I give it back to you, of course. I'm not trying to keep it or anything, but just to get an idea, and then see like maybe what I'm doing wrong, or maybe what I can do, or like a better armor that might help me to protect myself, or you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Okey-doke. So the sounds of it is Gambit is going with John and Garand to talk about armor. The two musicians are going to clean up and get ready to perform. That leaves Doug and Thicket. What were your plans?
Well, if we don't have any pressing matters or anything, Thicket is going to find a place where he can set up shop and use plant growth on his staff to attach the Pearl of Power.
So that would be a standard casting. Pearl of Power should be reset after yesterday. Let's see, plant growth, plant growth, plant. Are you... It's not ritual. It only takes an action to do its primary thing, which would definitely apply to this. So yeah, at this point, since you have the spell slot, you kind of just do it. So depending on where you'd like to be when you settle down and do it, you could go ahead and attach the pearl.
All right. I do that.
You
I would like to
prepare-
think that Thicket is just skipping along, and then they're like, wait a minute, and then pulls out the Pearl of Power and like just does it right there.
You hold up the pearl toward the staff, and as you instill the magic into it, the end of the staff grows and like twists, creating a rather pretty looking like vine shell around the ore, where you can still see it, but there's the vines securely holding it in place. Are there any finishing touches, flowers or anything, or is it just at the end of a wooden staff now?
I'll say there's like some vines and stuff.
Looks fancy, looks druidy.
Yeah.
Flowers, bits of moss maybe on part of the vines.
Yes.
Very nice. Doug.
Gambit, look what I did.
Whoa, like just now?
Yeah.
That was cool.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm. It looks amazing. Maybe you could start a business and make staffs.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And fancy walking sticks.
Doug, what would you like to do?
Yeah, Doug doesn't have anything pressing. He is curious though about the Displacer Beast effects that he's seen. And apparently since we spent so long to like skin them. So he's mostly curious if like the teeth or the spikes would do anything. I guess he would head over to the blacksmith if Thicket or I think it's just
have the tentacle spikes. So not the full spikes, you kept just the spikes on the end of a tentacle as well as the teeth.
correct.
And I believe did y'all get the Displacer Beast meat as well?
I think so.
Because that is going to need to be salted or cooked relatively soon, or it will go bad. Yes, y'all have 16 units of Displacer Beast meat at 4 pounds apiece.
We can turn it into Jackie treats.
Yeah, y'all could dry, salt, cook.
More Blink Dog.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Dry salting would probably be the longest lasting. You'd get the jerky to end up lasting weeks or months at that point.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, one of these days she'll like nat 20 on a fort save or con save of it or something, and then suddenly she now is a blink Jackie, a blink.
Who knows?
Yes.
Dope.
What?
So
Case
Doug
Doug.
is... Sorry, continue.
I guess in that case, Doug would just be drying out the meat while he's waiting on everyone else to return.
So are you getting it dried somewhere, or are you buying the stuff to dry the meat yourself? Or were you going to the blacksmith? And which thing are you doing first if you're doing multiple?
I think Because it's 4 p.m., right?
Yes.
I think I would do the first, and then later on in the day after blacksmith, wait at the inn and then ask if I could use the facilities.
Alright, so you wanted to go blacksmith first, talk to him, and then go back to the Dancing Goose and try and get Grace or Gerald to basically rent out part of the kitchen to you to dry the stuff.
Yeah.
Oakley dokley. Excuse me.
I could help with drying it out.
How so?
I have shape water. I could try and get all the water out of it.
Do you think daylight or something might help?
I don't know. I'd be kind of worried about burning it. I do also have my little fire kitten.
Oh, so in that case, we might not need the facilities then.
But it might still help to have equipment that would be suited for it.
Okay, well, do you want to go to the blacksmith first?
Sure. I'll tag along.
And then transition to...
There you go. So let's see. While y'all going to blacksmith, let's go to the other side first. Effectively, John is prepping with Garon and Gambit. Gambit is helping Garon figure out armor stuff. Do you want to roleplay any of that, or just kind of say Gambit is showing Garon how armor works and how leathers work better, blah, 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 because Garon wants an upgrade and Gambit knows more than he does.
Yeah, effectively he's trying to learn better combat capabilities. So, there'd be at least a little bit of opportunity to roleplay, unless for whatever reason Jocelyn just wants to progress. So it's fine.
It's up to you. I don't know how much Gambit is actually knows what he's doing.
Well, the point is that you've been hit a lot and you survived. So, I got hit one time, and I basically went almost to dead. So,
let me remind you of the first, our first, 3 different combats where Gambit went unconscious.
Yeah, so you had to learn something.
Yeah, I learned how to dodge. Are you quick on your feet?
See, I don't know. You seem to be able to move more quickly than I can at times. So maybe it's not your armor, but can I at least look at your armor? Can I at least?
Sure.
So I'm expecting to see if his armor is thicker or heavier than mine, and I'm just I'm not trying to jostle Gambit at all. I'm not trying to make him lose balance or whatever, but I'm definitely grabbing it with and putting my little bit of strength into it. So it's there is definitely and now I think you have studded leather, Gambit?
Mm-hmm. Hold on. Let me check my inventory.
What? Echo.
In fact, there's a search bar at the bottom of your inventory.
Oh, that's amazing. That's a very great fun fact.
Should you ever need it. It's helped me out quite a few times.
You keep it also alphabetical, so it'd be under S if...
It'd be under S if studied, L if not.
Or it could be what Thicket wears, a Gambison.
It's true. It could also be a Gambeson because
Oh.
it has a slightly different version.
Okay.
Well, it's not under S, so I think it's just leather. Let me see.
Okay.
Here's one.
appears to just
It
be
just says
leathers.
leather. Oh yeah, yep, leather.
Okay. So it's not going to seem that much better than mine. So,
Mm-mm.
all right. Well, I mean,
Gambit's gonna playfully swing at Garand and see if he can dodge.
okay. So you effectively are you testing either the
Basically, how
are you
fast,
testing
how quick you are.
see if I have like you're effectively testing for, I guess, what is it called, the
Reflexes,
yeah, whatever the thing that
dexterity.
it causes you to take half damage on a hit. You're like testing me with it, right?
Uncanny dodge. Yeah.
Okay. And so, yeah, I mean, like, I'm trying to move or whatever, but like, you hit me, and I definitely am not moving as fast as you. So you probably realize pretty quick that yeah, it's just your training and your skills, not necessarily like our armor is basically the same. So
Yeah. I mean, unless you want me to like go through, like, if you want to like put in work and exercise into being faster, because from my understanding is I'm not a backline per se, but I'm not really a frontline either. But I think I don't know.
no, it's fine. I think I guess it is just your natural skill and talents. Yeah, I'm trying to get combat advice from each of us are so different, and with John here, I'll try to learn from him as well. He says his primary experience actually is in melee weapon combat, and then obviously Doug, he knows. So I don't know. Maybe I've just got to start looking for some good studded leather armor to just help myself just that little bit more. But all right, well, I appreciate you giving me your time, Gambit. If you want, come join the show tonight. You're always welcome. I love it when you're there, and Thicket, of course, and all that. So I'm gonna go get cleaned up then.
All right, I love you. I don't know how much I love being at the Dancing Goose right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. No, that's fine. Go do something else
You know what I
then.
mean?
You could go read, right? You can talk to the Lord Lady Librarian. I'm sure she'd love to hear that we have successfully done what we have successfully done.
Sure, I'll see if she has some time.
So yeah, Gron will go get cleaned up for the night, and then he'll eat first, of course. But yeah, and then just whenever you're ready for that, I'm good.
So, sorry, I was writing something down. We have Garand and John working on their act. We have Blacksmith, which we're about to go to, and then what was Gambit doing?
Gambit's going to see the Lord Librarian.
Oakley dokley.
Can you? What's the name of the dude that we're raiding the house on Friday?
The name she gave you was Clifton Crest.
Clifton Crest?
Yes.
Okay.
Alright, as we shift over to the blacksmith. It's getting closer to 4:35-ish as y'all are getting over there. It's still raining, but as you get close, you get a very nice smell. It is some kind of meat. Well spiced. It's very, very savory and a little ashy smelling as you get over. As you approach, you hear the laughter of children. Walking toward the blacksmiths, you see two girls soaked, absolutely soaked, jumping around in puddles. As you walk over, you see sitting down, Nick, at a small table that seems to have been pulled out from inside the house. You see a fairly skinny human man, a half-elven woman, sitting at the table, and standing off to the side, near one of the furnaces, actually basically putting the entire pan into the furnace, you see the fairly large half-orc seems to be cooking.
Knock, knock.
Oh, Ariel looking as the human looks over. Can I help you? Are y'all looking for Vivian?
I don't think
Yes.
so.
Vivian. The half-orc pulls the pan back out, moving over. Yeah, what is it? Oh, the Faunus, and I don't think I know you.
I don't think I'm a faunus.
No, the other guy.
Oh.
You're a cat.
Yeah.
Also, you're talking.
Yes.
Why? I mean, not to be rude, not like why are you talking, but like how is a cat talking?
Why
How
is
are you
chicken?
talking?
With my mouth.
Well, there you
Touche.
go.
Alright. What can I do for you, I'm sorry, I don't think I get your name the other day.
Yeah, so my name is Doug, and this is Thicket, who is a part of our crew.
Adrian, these are friends of the guy that I sent over to you earlier. Oh. Cool. The, kind of a flattering one. He's a flatterer. Right?
Uh,
The half-elf.
Oh,
oh,
that's Garon.
Yeah. He's
well,
he's definitely a smooth talker.
You can definitely talk better than I can.
he
That's okay.
definitely talks. How smooth, I do not know. Uh,
As Fabian moves over to the plates and puts what effectively seems to be a kind of a corned beef hash onto the 5 plates that are set up. 2 smaller ones, two more medium, normal sized, and then 1 slightly larger plate, giving pretty even amounts to him as he moves back over toward the fire before pouring this a familiar viscous grain-colored liquid. It appears he's making pancakes into the same pan as he starts cooking them. So what can I do for you?
uh,
Oh, well, unless
well-
you're here to have dinner, but if so, we might need to get some more food out.
well, it's funny you mentioned that. We weren't here for that, but we do have all of this meat from Displacer Beast.
Oh
That
yeah, Adrian says, I'm working on the hide. I've already got it started for y'all.
oh,
Y'all
so
got the meat from it too?
we've already been here, I guess.
The half-elf, he came and got the hide started.
Oh, yeah. So I also pulled teeth and like some spikes from the tentacles. Uh, do those possess similar like effects, or like have you known them to be used for
mean-
things?
Fabian pipes up. Well, I mean, I'm sure like any animal bones, they could probably be used. I don't know what you mean with the spikes. I mean, I guess Displacer Beasts have spikes if you're saying that. I don't know any off the top of my head. You might be able to, if you're looking for like magic stuff, go to the library, get a wizard. I don't know. As far as regular armor and things, I mean anything you can use a bone for. So, you know, daggers, darts, knives, arrow tips.
Well, have you known these bones to be of good quality, or do people
I have
just
never worked with
them?
the displacer beast before. Neither have I. Adrian says. I'm actually really hoping that the tanning solution that I've got whipped together is gonna work well on it. So, only a little worried, but I think it'll do. It'll do. I'm not bad at my job by any means.
Mm, okay, I guess I'll just kind of play around with the stuff myself. On the note of cooking, is there anything that we should know about the meat in terms of
Well,
what to do?
How
mean,
do you cook meat?
he blinks. Well, I guess you are a cat. Well, he looks at it too. I may be the best cook in the family, but I don't necessarily know if there's anything. I mean, if it's like any meat, there's a variety of ways you can cook it. You can sear it like a steak. I don't. It's yeah, you should probably be able to do that. It's a wild game, hasn't been ground or anything. You should probably be able to. I don't imagine it have any sickness in it. Maybe to check for that though. You'll look like magic people. I'm sure you can cast some kind of spell to see if it's poisonous.
I have a spell for that.
See, there you go. Problem solved. Other than that, yeah, cook like any meat. I mean, if you want to ground it up and make tacos or make some sausage like we got here,
What are tacos?
my God. You, my dear, or sir, I don't know. I can't tell what you are. You need to next time you go somewhere where they have food, just ask for tacos until someone says yes. You'll thank me. I don't have tacos on, but they're meat and vegetables put inside of a shell, soft or hard, and then either wrapped up or folded, and it's perfect.
Like a sandwich?
Kinda, but more like a what's a good comparison?
Like
He makes
a
the
poke
pancake he finishes. He like folds the pancake taco shape. More like this, and then you put the stuff inside of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like a sandwich, but on its side.
You could think of it that way, and have like the third side to it, rather than just the top and bottom.
What?
So it's like
there's
a
like where it folds it, there's like the two sides, and then, you know, kind of like bottom part to it.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, hey girls! As the two younger human girls, actually one of them is a half elf, is a human. Look over dinner time. As he's been doing this, he's been making pancakes that he sets on their plates that they happily come over and start chattering as
Do
the.
they have smiley faces on them?
Let me see how
Did
skilled
he
of a
make
cook.
smiley
Let me
faces
see how
on them?
skilled of a cook he is, and I'll tell you. Yes, they are perfectly done with smiley faces, and seem to have some kind of a honey syrup that they're using for it rather than maple.
We must protect this NPC at all costs.
We had pancakes this morning.
Really? Well, it's pancake night here every Wednesday, so it's just right on time. If y'all are here next week, you're welcome to join us. Just give me a heads up.
We're going to be leaving soon.
Yes, we will.
Shame. I've enjoyed hanging out with y'all. Y'all have given me quite a bit of business. As he nudges Adrian. Yeah, me too.
In that case, should we stay?
I'll be honest, as much as I'd like you to, I don't have the stuff on hand.
Well, we need to go back for dinner to see Garon play.
In that case, we will leave.
Yeah, I should be able to. If you want to know, I should be able to be there Friday, like he asked. Yeah.
In that case, we will see you Friday.
See you Friday then. We find some good luck with the teeth and spikes. Sorry, I can't be more of help.
No, it's okay. It was more of a curiosity thing. Like I'm used to using the remnants of things that I find to create things with, but I've never come across a displacer beast. So I was just curious.
Say I have either, but I hope it works well.
Thanks.
And, assuming y'all head out.
Ticket jumps in puddles on the way out.
And Doug, name.
The girls laugh as you do. Let's see, so y'all head back. That leaves Gambit.
Back to the library.
What are you doing once you get there? I mean, Marley is still working. Reading. She seems to be taking laps around the library every now and again, checking on people that are in there, checking to make sure that everything's clean and in good shape. Can I help you, Gambit?
Hey. Yeah. Is the Lord Librarian busy? I'm sure she is.
Yeah,
Do you
she's
know when
teaching
she
tonight.
has like? Do you know when she has like 5 minutes?
5 minutes. She's currently working with some of the senior students. If you come back around 9, that's when they'll be finishing up for the night, and she should be done with students for the night. She may not be able to give you some time then, but I know she tends to take the evenings to herself after that, so you'll want to be there about
Right.
9, especially if it's not a very long conversation. I can let her know that you're interested, and me or someone else will stop you here if she's not able to.
All right. Thank you.
That's your thing.
And sorry about earlier. I didn't mean to. Well, I
Garand
did
already got
mean
it
to.
squared away. He owes me something now.
Oh. Okie dokie.
I mean, you can owe me something too if you'd like.
I'd rather not. You seem
Or just an apology, that's all
like.
But also
I'm
now I'm curious.
sorry.
I seem like what?
You seem like a scary person to owe a favor to.
Aw, she gives a smile.
I,
That might be the
I
sweetest
do
thing
mean that
any
as
of
a
you have ever
compliment.
said to me.
Wow. Wow, you flatter me. Or either
I
the
think
bar
it's
is
the other way
really
around.
low.
No, I just find it a compliment. It's not hard. It's
I
not
meant
easy to
about
be feared as a halfling. We're cute by most people's standards.
You and me both.
Good luck with your meeting later.
Alright, thanks.
She returns to her work.
Yeah.
Is everyone congregating at the inn for the performance, or do y'all have other things you'd like to accomplish?
How soon is it till the performance?
When are you performing?
I mean, it's probably what, like 5:30ish now. So I usually start like 7. So plenty of time for people to eat if they want.
Yeah, y'all could get the could ask about the drying process, or
What
if you
time
want
do
to do it
shops
on your
close?
own. Shops close typically around 5-6 o'clock for most of the workday. Occasionally later, depending on the type of shop it is. There's no outdoor shops today. The open market is not set up because of the rain. So
What
you'd have
time
to go
does
check.
the jewelry shop close?
You'd have to walk by and give it a check. It was about 5 o'clock, so you're cutting the edge.
We can check tomorrow.
So yeah, I guess we'll try to go to the inn first before the performance.
Oakley Dokley, are you trying to get with someone? Who are you seeking out to get the meat dried? And are you
Well,
trying to purchase, do it yourself, but with their stuff, like rent a little bit of the space? What's your plan here? What are you thinking?
I think Doug would just walk in and talk to one of the first people he sees.
Like a random person at a table, or someone that works there?
Probably at like the counter or
You would see
um,
Gerald working at the counter. At this point, familiar to y'all, the half orc. Be familiar, fairly tall half orc who, fairly tall means he's at eye level with Doug. Even as a half orc, he might be slightly taller than you, but he's about your size. I just looked. Yeah, you're 6'4". He's about the same height as you.
what
Does
does he
he
do?
have tasks?
He currently seems to be talking to someone at the bar occasionally, as he moves around, talking to the different clientele, making drinks, occasionally talking to someone in the back who, as they come out, you do see is a dwarf, a dwarven woman coming out from the back, wearing a cook's apron. Occasionally she brings out food, or the two servers that seem to be working the evenings come out in and out of the kitchen bringing stuff.
Yeah, I think Doug will just approach the bar and wait for.
It's less than 15 seconds. Hey, Garand, what can I get for you? I'm sorry, you're not Garand. You're Doug. Is that right? I'm still keeping all your names straight. You two are both very tall.
Yes. This is Doug.
My apologies. What can I get for
Garand
you?
is the one that performs. Yeah, I was wondering if I could use your facilities to prepare this meat at some point, whether it's before
What kind
or
of meat
after
is it?
disposal feast.
His eyes widen. I admit I was not expecting that answer. I was expecting deer or something. Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested in trying it. I've never had the stuff before. Grace might be interested as well. How much do you got?
We have plenty. Have you ever cooked? I mean, I know you said you weren't expecting it, but like, have you cooked it before or
No.
known of how it tastes or like how we
No
should
idea.
prepare it?
I mean, I could
How
take
do
a
you
gander.
dry meat?
That's a fun process, my dear. My good sir. That's Micah's mistake on this point. Well, it's actually a relatively simple process. Typically, you heat up the meat or put it in a very dry location, add salt, spices if that's the kind of stuff you want, and then you cook it in that kind of lighter heat for hours. Often we smoke it as well if you want to get the kind of smoky flavor. We put other meats in there too. Try and like we've did some stuff where we've like dried beef with bacon on it, and then just once the bacon was cooked, we take the bacon off and continue to dry the beef. It gets the pork flavor in there. So if you're looking to try it, we can totally do that.
Oh, so it's similar to what we would do at the Orange Sun to preserve the meat, is we would get all the moisture out.
Exactly.
And that way,
that is the exact process. It's referred to as drying. You're drying the meat out to get rid of all the moisture.
I see. I never knew what it was called. I just remember the food that I would eat. But anyway,
Yeah.
so yes,
It's a pretty good way to
process.
prepare the meat if you looking to have it for a long time. If you're looking for a single meal, I mean, what are displacer beasts? Not super familiar with them.
Displacer beast are these very big, black. Actually, that is a great question. Let's just say that they are big and black, and they have tentacle spikes on their tails, and yeah, it's kind of a mixture of a few different animals. Is the best way I can describe it.
What animal are they most similar to? They sound pretty monstrous, so want to be careful before you try the meat. But
They look like big cats.
probably a little more gamey then. I mean, you could cook it like any way you'd probably cook wild game, deer, panther. You could probably make steaks out of it, stew, fry it. Yeah, I could probably help you use the facilities tomorrow. We can't do it now. We got everything locked up for the dinner rush, but in the morning we could definitely start them. And it's probably gonna take most of the day because the drying process. But if we get to try it, I can probably swing it with Grace. Technically, it's her kitchen, but
Sure, I don't
she'd
see.
be interested.
Like, I'm pretty sure we have a lot to share.
Yeah, sure. Do you need us to keep it on ice for the night?
That would be great.
Yeah, sure thing. So are y'all like helping, or presumably you'd be able to go back to the kitchen and open the portable hole and help him pull out the bags of meat, properly clean them, and then store them. It appears they do have a cellar that does have some kind of magical cooling equipment that does keep the room pretty chilly. Setting it up against one of the walls after carefully wrapping it in this these effectively large leaves that seem to have been dried into this almost paper. Wrapping it in those and setting it in the room. Seems to be set up for the next day. Quite a bit of meat that you have. 64 pounds.
When they went back to the kitchen, were there a lot of people dressed in like aprons and like hats and
It is the one dwarven lady. It's rapidly moving around the kitchen.
like just in like armor?
No,
Or, like,
she's wearing an apron, and she doesn't have a hat, but she is wearing an apron. But no armor.
Never mind. I was going to say if Doug had seen everyone in like some kind of uniform, he would be kind of I guess more curious about the wear, but since it's just one person, he wouldn't have noticed.
Fair enough. Alright, as they prepare that, what is Gambit doing until he returns to the inn, since he doesn't seem to want to go to the Dancing Goose? What is Gambit doing?
Gambit is going to. What is Gambit going to do? He's going to do rogue stuff. As in, he's
Steal
gonna. No. Not this time. He is going to see if he can like listen in on to the down low the dark web combos and through like thieves
Where are you trying to
thief
listen
language
in on Thieves Can't?
and see like I guess he'll go into the like because we've been to places before to try to kind of like pick up on information. So like go to some dirtier, grungier bars and
Trying to find the underbelly.
dark alleys, and see just if people are talking about like, the bandits are suddenly gone and stuff.
Fair enough. Make an investigation check. And how long is Gambit doing this?
Until it's 9 o'clock.
Not coming back for Garon's performance. Okie dokie. Go ahead and make the investigation check.
I'm going to use a hero point. I'm going to make an investigation check. What? Okay, no, it didn't.
You don't get much from it.
Okay.
You spend several hours out and about, but people seem apprehensive to talk to someone they don't know. You have a hard time finding the spots where the kind of people you're looking for be talking. Doesn't seem to go as well as you'd have liked. But the time is spent. And as that time is spent, we are going to take a quick 8-10 minute break here, and then return for the rest of the session. Everyone is finding their fun things to do. See, Jocelyn, you gave Adrian a wife and 2 daughters. I don't remember what you did to make a sound last time, but you did it.
Oh yeah.
Gave him a family, which automatically
Yeah.
meant Fabian had a family that lived across the street.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Which means Wednesdays
Oh
are
yeah,
pancake night.
it was the dog.
Yep, which means Wednesdays are pancake night.
Nice.
I want to have pancakes made in a smelting furnace.
Seems like that would be more efficient than a skillet.
It's fair.
So have you heard the groundbreaking news about Daggerheart?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
It is Critical Role's creation of their like D&D-esque like TTRPG.
Interesting.
So they have their open beta out as of the 12th of this month. And the major differences is their dice system and their combat being no initiative. It's more of like a cause and event kind of thing.
Okay.
So basically, so your character creation is a bit different. You know, they have some that are specific for them, but it's also like very D&D like, to where you still have a bard, you still have like a sorcerer, wizard, whatever. They have different races, different like ancestry background kind of stuff. Outside of character creation being a little unique, and each each class, quote unquote, has you pull from 2 like cards based off of your level kind of thing. As you level up, you can choose to get a card from that level, or you can go down a level and pick from there. But anyway, so outside of character creation, the major difference is the way stats are, and how you die / deal damage. So it uses 2d12 system to where 1d12 is hope, 1d12 is fear, and so whichever die is higher, you add the two together, and that's your total roll. But then whichever die was higher, it's either like, let's say 10 with hope or 10 with fear. And then once a fear is rolled, then the DM takes their turn on, I guess, combat. So if everyone keeps rolling hope, then it just keeps going until someone rolls fear, kind of thing. But yeah, fear is used by the DM on various things. And then as characters get hope, they can spend hope for certain things, for certain abilities or combos or whatever. But yeah, so it was just critical roles, I guess, creation that they're letting people play test.
Seems interesting. That's a good move for it. This will be the second tabletop RPG that Matt has been involved in creating, because he was also
Yeah.
part of the Open Legend dev team, I think, which hasn't taken as much of a. It hasn't gotten as loved as some of the people were hoping, obviously, because when you make something, people want it to go well.
Yeah.
It's an open source RPG. Rules are all free right there.
But yeah, apparently his reasoning behind this was, well, a critical success is if you roll the same number on both die. So it doesn't matter if it's snake eyes or not. But yeah, like statistically, the die roll was that way for like better outcomes. But then also, I guess the way combat is, it's more of like, rather than taking your turn and then waiting like 30 minutes to take your next turn.
You do the thing, and if it goes poorly, the enemy does something. If it goes well, you get to do your thing, etc.
That, and then also because people can take their turns whenever, or like it allows for more, not table talk, but I guess it keeps the players more interested in like what's happening, because it's like, oh, maybe it's best if I chime in now, or like, they don't have to wait a full cycle. But it seems interesting, just how it's been played out so far. But yeah, there is a lot of D&D like things that have been brought over. It's just renamed, I guess.
Yeah. As you do, some stuff is copyright claimed, other stuff is not.
Yeah. So like, Bard is not claimed because
But you can never have a Hobbit, an officially licensed thing, because it is a Tolkien estate owned thing.
Yeah.
Interesting. I may give it a try sometime. Is it set to like a medieval fantasy setting, or is it very general? I know other things like Open Legend or the Powered by Apocalypse system, which is kind of similar, where in Powered by the Apocalypse, the DM never rolls anything. It's just when a player rolls and they get a poor result, that's when stuff happens.
It's more medieval. But then again, I guess you can make it into whatever era you want.
Yeah.
So, but it seems to be easier to follow in terms of.
It seems very mechanically light from what you've described.
Yeah, but I think it also is a little more. Like there's more to keep up with in terms of short rest or long rest. That was something different too, is depending on, like, you're given a list of things you can do on a short rest or a list of things you can do on a long rest. So for example, one of the major differences is like the way armor works. So it's like or damage anyway. So let's say someone rolls a 15. Well, if the way your armor works is if like let's say a 5 is rolled, then that's considered minor damage, so you only take 1 point of health. Or if the damage roll was like an 8 and that's your major, then you would take 2 points of health. Or if it hits your severe die roll, then that would be like 3 points of health. So it's like you have very low
Low health
health.
values.
Yeah. And so you can spend an armor, so it's kind of like it kind of impairs your armor a bit to reduce the damage roll by whatever the armor you're using. So it can go from rather than being a severe wound, it's now a major wound.
Yeah.
And so like your armor basically gets worn out over time. So like an option during a short rest is I want to repair my armor.
Makes sense.
But yeah, so I mean, there's a few like mechanically, like, or a few mechanical things that you kind of have to keep track with, which might be more like on the DM and players. But it seems more free flowing in terms it allows a lot more like creativity, I guess.
I believe it. A lot of more open source, open style. Generally applicable ones tend to be that way. Like Open Legend has no like base expectations. It has a role system that you then apply your lore on top of. Same thing with like the Fate Core system. I'll be right back, and then we can get started.
I'm gonna wake up. Anybody been watching Shogun on Hulu?
My dad has. I haven't though.
I highly enjoy it. There's like, what are we, 5 episodes in, 4 episodes in, 4, I don't know, but very good, very very enjoyable. I haven't read the novel in a very long time, so I don't remember how close it is to the novel, but
I didn't know it was
I'm here.
based off of a novel.
yeah, James Clavell wrote a lot of historical fiction. I think like late 50s into like the mid 70s, maybe even early 80s, but yeah, this is based on some similar things that like happened with Ieyasu Tokugawa. So I don't know how much you might know or like Japanese history and stuff, but feudal Japan is like one of my favorite like eras, and like for a game, it's like one of my favorite world settings, and There's a game out there called Legend of the Five Rings, and that's basically like feudal Japan. Stuff is awesome to me. I deeply love the concept of the whole idea of what their culture means, what their history means. Like, I don't know. I don't have the right words to express, but I am a huge fan of it.
Nice. It's pretty neat.
I think if I ever run a one shot for to give Micah a break, I think I would do a Legend of the Five Rings one shot. I don't know how it would play in this, because you're using D10s. It's similar in that way to like Vampire the Masquerade or Werewolf the Apocalypse. If you ever played any of that.
You said power. What now?
Sorry, one of my favorite
I heard the word
like worlds
apocalypse and
and
it
settings.
snapped me back in.
Yeah, it's fine. So it's feudal Japan, and then there's a game system called Legend of the Five Rings. That's basically just it's just basically feudal Japan, with a little bit of like extra fantasy mixed in, but like a lot of like anime stuff and like things that you've seen from an anime, like it all comes from like Japanese mythology and history and stuff. But there's a lot of things going on with that, and I think if I ever were to run like a one shot, it would be to run that. And I don't know how well I would do on something like this because it rolls d10s like Vampire the Masquerade or Werewolf the Apocalypse. It's similar to those games.
Interesting. I'd be down to try it. Which games did you say it was similar to?
Vampire the Masquerade or Werewolf the Apocalypse. So
I know about Masquerade. You said
okay, so
it looks interesting.
that whole company, White Wolf, they basically like it's the same game, but each version of it is like has like a different emphasis. So Vampire the Masquerade is more for like political, like you generally don't get into combat, but the combat system's fine because it's the same throughout all of them. But it's mostly about like politics and like maneuvering each other, and it's like it kind of sets all the players against each other, which is not great for a lot of groups, but it works for some. Werewolf the Apocalypse does it's more combat based, and it's more like you're like a team or a pack trying to stop the world from ending. There's Mage of the Ascension, which is more like how to get the world to end so that you can so that either evil doesn't exist anymore or so that good never gets in the way again. So that's kind of like a coin flip depending on like what people are trying to play. And then there's other ones too, but those are like the three main ones. And it's very interesting in that you have the same game, but you basically play it a bunch of different ways depending on what your group is into. And they both of them roll with d10s. There's slight variations, but they're very similar. They're not made by the same company though, so that's probably why they're not the exact same.
Yeah.
But they
Seems
both were
interesting,
like
though.
alternatives. And then there was a third edition version called Rokugan. I think it was also in second edition, but Rokugan is basically the same kind of setting. And believe it or not, it's actually connected to Forgotten Realms. It's just on the other side of the mountains east of Rashomon, which I don't know if you guys know a whole lot about Forgotten Realms, but basically it's like Forgotten Realms is Europe and Rokugan is China and Japan.
Nice.
So
Seems interesting. If you ever want to run a one shot, let me know.
yeah, I'd have to figure out how to set up a D10s roller in this. I mean, because you'd want to be able to like read your character and like look at what you could do and stuff.
There might be a way to do it in one of their, because they have preloaded ones. I also know people have made rule systems for modules, so I could look into that pretty easy. For the time being, we obviously have Chris and myself. Jack.
Present.
Iceland,
Here.
Maury.
Hi.
Cool beans. We can return to the game. As the party goes their separate ways for a bit, being too nervous to really get into the game, Gambit doesn't succeed in finding information as much as he'd want over the time. And while that's happening, I believe, if I have it right, Doug and Thicket are having dinner and watching John and Garand.
Yup.
Oakley dokley. John will be helping you. He will get to roll his own thing, though. Garand.
All right, so before you had us do, like, you let us, like, buff each other, maybe? Or there was a help action or something? I don't know, but that, like, was there anything involved where either was either using Bardic Inspiration or
inspire each other? So if you would like to do that, then you can add a D8 and he can add a D6.
Okay. Alright. So, yeah.
You're adding an extra 2 to his, and he is adding an extra 7 to yours. He's really getting you into the zone.
Definitely. Was it Thicket doing light show or someone like that was helping someone else too, or was that something else?
No, I wasn't doing anything.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember all the different things because I know, like, it's been, like, a little bit since we've done this. Like, I think realistically speaking, it's been, like, 2 months since we've actually been able to do this.
Since we've done a
Like,
performance.
real world. So
I think I was giving you advantage, I don't remember what for, but we can keep up that streak of y'all kind of riffing off of each other.
So, add advantage or no?
Yeah, you can do advantage.
Alright.
His supporting role, it's not amazing, he's doing good, but he's definitely more supporting you and your crazy 37. At this point, you might have outdone yourself for Friday. I don't know if you can hit a high enough... Like, I don't know how your rolls are going to work out for the Friday one around, but Wednesday is currently your best performance yet. Ever.
I theoretically could hit a 43.
Technically, yeah. If you get nat 20, full 8, 4 hero point.
Yeah. I could theoretically hit 43. Which means, I mean, at that point, there's got to be some deity steps down and be like, okay, bro.
Dionysus himself.
If the deities hadn't actually decided not to interact with humans already, that would happen. Pre-schism, that would happen. But for now, John plays okay. At one point, one of his strings actually comes undone, and he plays with the other strings, still keeping up, doing well. But during one of your intermissions, he has to go ahead and fix it. But you do incredible. Thicket and Doug, it is the best he's performed yet. More people come in throughout the night. People are singing along, enjoying themselves. And yet again, Thicket notices that people aren't leaving until you're done. So how long do you want to play?
My 2-hour show. My 2-hour show.
Okay, so only until like 9 o'clock as you finish up. And as you do, people stand up and clap.
And I'll say, my apologies, good citizens. I was not able to perform last night, so I hope this makes up for the absence last evening. I'm sure that all of you missed me as much as I missed you, or maybe at least nearly as much as I missed you, but hopefully you've enjoyed the evening. And thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
As you eventually make your way, as the crowd eventually dies down. It takes a few minutes.
Oh, I'm shaking hands.
People are definitely shaking hands. Several
People
people are
offering
buying you drinks.
labels.
Several people, men are offering you shots and a nod and a handshake. Several women are trying to get to you. Depends on how you choose to rebuff them or otherwise, but they are definitely interested in having a drink with you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll drink with them, but if they try to do anything more than that, I'll excuse myself, because Duran's mentality right now is if there's not a woman in the group that or whatever, or someone that they some NPC that they're going to continue to interact with, then he doesn't really want to put that on someone where he's gonna still be adventuring, because it's not like he's gonna stay, so he's not gonna
No
mislead
rando
someone.
then. No randos
Right.
for Garant.
No. He's not that kind of bard.
Not that kind of bard. He is
Ron doesn't do one night stands.
Garand
No, he does
doesn't.
not.
Garand is above the average bard in every way, it seems. Musically talented and morally capable. While you're performing, eventually, as Thicket and Garand are sitting, listening, enjoying themselves, eating whatever you choose to get for dinner, eventually Grace does come by at the table. You would notice Thicket from her passive perception. It seems to be she always goes around. She interacts with basically every single person that comes into the store in the evening, that comes into the restaurant. And she eventually comes by and stands, and depending on how long she stays, may sit down. But how are y'all doing tonight? Was your adventure successful?
Well, we're back.
Fair enough. I don't imagine you'd leave a job unfinished. Y'all seem like quite the capable group. Sad to see Gambit's not around.
Is he not?
Well, I kept an eye out for him, and I haven't seen him this evening, so I don't know where he is, but he's not here. Not as far as I can tell.
Is this later in the evening that I would be there, or is this still
This
just with
this is earlier. This is probably around 8:15, 8:20 when she would get around to the table, when it's just the two of them. So y'all were successful. You've finished your hunt that I believe was mentioned.
Yeah. I think John finished what he had to do.
What did he have to do?
Ask him, I don't remember.
Sure thing. How are you, Thicket? Is there anything I can get you?
Hello.
Hello. Is everything alright? She tilts her head.
I don't like you.
Thank you for your honesty. Sorry to hear that. Is there any particular thing that I should know? Any way that I can make it up to you?
You scaring my friend.
I'm not trying to. She sits down. Genuinely, I promise I'm not. I was worried at first, but I don't think he's dangerous. Not to us, not to anyone who doesn't have it coming.
How do you know Gambit?
Well, I'd heard about Fugitive, and I'd seen some wanted posters, as she keeps her voice fairly quiet. And so I was worried that the person that I saw on the posters was here and was going to hurt my town. But I'm not worried anymore.
Does she seem to be telling the truth?
Make an insight check. You're looking for any sign, a lie, of dishonesty, of negative emotions even, and she seems genuine.
Okay.
In fact, with that roll, she has a very soft look in her eyes that Thicket doesn't necessarily recognize the emotion of when she talks about Gambit.
That's so vague.
And can Doug roll an insight check to see if
Sure.
he...
You definitely can. You can
You
roll
could
well.
certainly try.
You can certainly try it. I
I mean-
definitely expect more of the +8 from Thicket, but go for it.
I mean, Doug is not socially aware to most things. However, he has surprised himself a few times.
He has. Quite a
And
few
the-
times.
It was perception. No, it was insight. Nope.
Nope, no idea what this girl wants. You have a hard time remembering what her connection is to the group. Well, if you'll remind him that I mean him no harm. I hurt any of y'all. I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'd be happy to go for another walk. No, don't tell him that. He doesn't. Nah. As she will get up from the table and move on, continuing to talk to the different people, moving around the room with a more thoughtful look in her eyes as she's going around, slightly out of whatever almost act the very hostess face she puts on, a little more out of it during the second half. But eventually Garon's performance finishes as Gambit finally arrives back. Gambit, you arrive to clapping. And
Oh wait, did I get to talk to the Lord Librarian?
Okay, I'll
right,
probably
so
be back after that.
That's
unless,
true. Yeah, I'd
I mean-
forgotten. I thought you were coming back here at 9 and forgotten the librarian.
If now, to be fair, it could that clapping could have gone on for 30 minutes. So I mean, that's a 37.
As you come in, Marla looks over. Yes. How long did you say it would last? She's been very busy tonight. How long did you need to talk to?
Like 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes.
Alright, you know the way up.
Okay.
As
Gambit
you
goes up.
quickly
Goes up.
walk down the hall and up the long staircase, eventually arriving at the top. See the closed door in front of you.
He'll knock.
Come in.
He'll walk in. Heyo, it's me. I know you're busy. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but he'll close the door. Just wanted to let you know, we got rid of your bandit problem, or most of it. We believe we scared a couple people straight, a couple people dead. And what do you know about a dude named Clifton?
You come in rattling all this off as she is sitting at her desk. It appears to be the same table that the alchemical supplies had been set upon earlier, but they have since been moved. As she has a large book and several different sheets of paper spread out around her and a pen in hand, and a bottle of wine and a half-drunk glass set off to the side. Okay, you're welcome to come in and take a seat. It's nice to see you too. Thank you for the bandits. You were talking about the metal mains?
Yeah.
I hadn't quite figured out where they'd been yet, so thank you for going ahead and handling that for me.
You're welcome.
And did y'all keep the materials that they'd stolen?
Yeah, yeah. We're
consider
planning
that,
on.
yeah.
Yes.
We'll consider that your payment
We
then.
found a couple of valuables that we might see if we can return to their owners. But yeah, we had kind of
That was an
made it a
adventure
little
too
bit of a
once. I understand.
yeah. Yeah.
I won't be compensating you any further then.
That's perfectly fine.
Can
Didn't come
you
here for
write down a
compensation.
location for me so I can send some men to get whatever they've left there?
Sure.
Please. She pulls out a piece of paper and hands it over with a quill and ink.
Does Gambit know where it is?
I don't know.
They were in the whole time we were traveling.
Uh-huh.
She looks up, is something wrong?
I mean, not on the way back, but on the way there, we would.
Yeah.
But on the way back, we would have been. And worst case
At
scenario,
least part of the time y'all were in the hole on the way back. I don't know how long that was, but
oh, like right near the end, before we got in. But I mean, we would have been able to see the city from there. But I don't know.
sure.
That's
It's up to y'all.
That's what-
If y'all had ridden back,
Gambit
but whether
will-
Gambit knows is another question.
I feel like Gambit should roll.
Make a survival check, Gambit.
It was about here.
You have no idea.
all right. That's fire. That's like
You are looking at the blank piece of paper,
About
and
here.
it isn't even a map that
He
she's
draws
handed
a
you.
huge. He draws a huge circle. Does not narrow it down one bit.
He draws a huge
The whole
circle on a blank piece of paper. Okay. Your observation.
Sorry, I'm directionally challenged.
It's fine. Have one of the others get that information to whoever's working the desk tomorrow. She pinches
Yeah.
the bridge of her nose. And you wanted to know about Clifton?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Crest, he is textiles and other import-export. Works on getting stuff to and from Vacuo.
You said he works with exotic goods.
Not that I'm aware of. He works with textiles mostly, but technically he's more of a merchant and delivery for things going back and forth. So if someone had placed a special order for him to try and get to from Vacuo, I'm sure, but it's mostly cloths, hides, etc. Clothing. You're concerned about him? Something wrong?
Could you elaborate on that?
You're an adventurer. I don't imagine that you'd be asking it if you didn't have a reason.
I had some tips. We got some tips. Wow. Working with the bandit, finding the bandit. That could mean that there's that getting rid of the bandits was just putting a band-aid on a much larger problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
I
you
just
think
wanted to get.
Rest is part of the band tree. Maybe he has more people.
I think he was a funder. There is a possibility. I'm gonna get more information, but I just wanted a vibe check from you. So don't act on it. Because we're trying to keep the bandit stuff on the down low. Actually.
Why is that?
I'm going to be looking for some more information. Probably should not be telling you of all the people who are here. But I'm sure you know that. I mean no harm. But trying to see if I can get some more information, but I don't want him to be tipped off.
Uh-huh. Well, if you find any evidence, I do require evidence of wrongdoing before any judgment is passed. So means well that. I'm not going to ask what your plans are. I've had my share of dimension dooring into places I shouldn't be. Hmm.
Oh, don't worry, it's not gonna be anything that bad. I don't think. So it will. We got it handled. So if there
Make a
is a bigger
deception
problem,
check.
I'll let you know.
Make a deception check.
A deception check
Yep.
for what?
Because I asked.
No,
Are you nervous about
no.
something, Gambit?
I mean, I'm a pretty nervous guy.
No, you're not.
Can I insight her?
Sure.
I want to insight her on what she's getting at, and I also want to insight her on when I was asking about, or kind of when I took the hand. Didn't really mean for that to happen, but it did.
Imply that you were going
That
to do stuff around Crest.
they're running a sting operation, basically. See if her reaction was like "Oh, I'm glad he's doing that," or "Yikes, I better cover my tracks." Like, is she in cahoots with this guy or not?
Make 2 insight checks. First one will be for the first thing, and then the second one will be with her getting at whatever nervousness she's referring to.
Oh no. Not too bad. Ghost.
She doesn't appear to be hiding anything the first time. You get an oddly knowing look from her, and the slightest of smiles.
This is about the sting operation?
Yeah.
Okay.
The second one, you're not totally sure what she's referring to, or at least she's not clearly giving her hand. She seems genuine. She's just asking, why are you nervous? Is everything alright?
Everything's fine. It's just there are some things in my past that are threatening me currently. A little bit.
Headhunters?
Well, yeah. Well, not really headhunters, but it's just my first time encountering someone who recognized me, and I don't like that.
Are they a threat?
So I don't think so, but that still doesn't mean that they don't make me nervous.
Well,
They had no ill intentions, but they.
You're allowed to be nervous. Just don't make it change your judgments.
Yeah.
Always think with your head. Now, if you don't mind, I have to get back to grading some papers.
Yeah. Alright, thanks for your time. See ya.
Of course. Good night.
Give us skedaddles.
I want to roll a thing to find out, just if there's, when Gambit would get back. Yep, when you get back 10, 12 minutes later, people are still clamoring to shake Garon's hand, talking to him, etc. He is swamped, while the others are over at a table. John
Gambit's
has
like,
joined
dang
them
it,
at the table.
Sounds like I missed a good one.
Yeah, I did great, John says. Doug, I think it remains silent.
Oh, has Gambit come to our
Yes, Gambit
table?
seems to have come to your table,
Yeah.
or at least that's what I took with the, looks like I missed a good one.
Oh, as Gambit is approaching, Doug is just going to kind of lean over towards Thicket, like, now, the woman that was here earlier, I know she wanted us to tell Gambit something, but I didn't quite catch the last part of her sentence.
DM, can you remind me?
Nope.
I the player
Not
forgot.
this time.
She said,
Please.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh no.
or I mean, Doug was just going to tell you what he remembered hearing, and then
Yeah. Doug, tell Thicket what you remember hearing.
yeah, so I remember she got up and she said, "Oh, well, maybe you can tell him to enjoy another stroll, and then she just kind of said, a little murmuring and then kind of left. But like, I don't know if that was I don't know what to do. Like, what are we telling Gambit?
Oh, she had wanted to let Gambit know that she didn't mean him any harm. And that if he wanted to, that the two of them could go on a walk again. But then was like, oh, I don't think Gambit would actually like to do that.
Gambit walks up and says, I missed a good one.
What does Gambit say?
Gambit, you walk up.
I sounds like I missed a good one.
Oh, yeah. Yes. The answer is yes.
I wonder what his profits are going to be tonight.
Doug, so Doug does not know exactly what you're referring to. He's kind of hesitant. So yes was his response.
Thicket's just kind of sitting there, confused.
Oh, not talkative tonight, are we? It has been a long day.
Doug is just okay. So, okay, Gambit. To be honest, I'm not sure what was going on either with the clapping nor the encounter we just had with the person you were trying to avoid.
Lady Grace Savania?
Yes. She wanted us to relay a message to you, but I'm struggling to remember what that message was, because it seemed like she wanted me to say one thing, but then she said never mind and did something else, but then I couldn't hear the last part, so I'm sorry. Like, I feel like I
That's
felt
right.
relaying some message.
She wanted you to know that she doesn't mean you any harm.
Yeah, probably, but I still don't like it.
Yeah.
So what is it that you two do not like exactly?
She knows Gambit and gets this weird look in her eyes whenever she talks about Gambit.
Weird is in the way your facial expression is when you hear of a food you've never tried before.
Yeah, kinda.
So is that more of like is that like a confused look, or is that like a I can't wait to try it look, or like what is that?
It's like a food that you think sounds interesting, but you're confused about like how it might taste, but you're like eager to try it still.
So it's kind of like how you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth. So if it looks interesting, you're more apt to eat it, but if it looks off-putting, you're kind of thinking it'll taste the same.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that equates with people, but I guess I'll find out.
That's why the look seems weird.
She thinks that I look off-putting?
No. She gets this like far off look. Like she said that she recognized you from your posters, but I feel like she I don't know. It might be something more. I don't know. I don't like her.
Have we seen a poster of Gambit?
We have.
Does it look remotely like the way Gambit is dressed now?
DM.
No,
No.
I
For
I
one, he
have
doesn't have a
I
hat or
have
an
a picture.
in the
There's
live
a picture of it
posters.
somewhere.
It's the wanted posters do not have an eye patch or hat.
Does
I
it
can
have his
repost.
It actually does not have
moth
his.
antenna?
It has an artist rendition, which could easily be mistaken for hair.
From what I remember, the poster doesn't look anything like you, Gambit. So I'm not quite sure how she would put two together.
Yeah, some people are just have really keen eyes.
So your eyes are the same from the drawing to.
Like some people are really good at recognizing faces. Even if it's just a drawing.
Ticket, make a perception check.
That was almost a 1. Ooh.
It did flirt. It was flirting with that one.
Ooh.
It was real close, but instead it was a 27. You notice at one point as the crowd eventually begins to die down in Garant, you're making your way over to jump in the conversation wherever you please. You at one point you see Grace again in the crowd after she hands off some money to Garand. Looks over, recognizes y'all, and that Gambit is there. Looks around, seems to think for a moment before grabbing her umbrella and leaving through the front door. Moving a little fast.
Did John already join their table?
Yes, John joined fairly quickly. People were far more interested in you than him.
Yeah, I figured, but I just want to make sure. So I'll head over there and John, here's your coin for the performance. Thank you for your assistance once again.
Thanks.
It's very fun to play with
it
you.
was mostly you, but yeah. Happy I could help.
Gambit, glad you made it back. Did you catch any of the show or no?
I caught the glorious applause, so I'm sure it was a great show.
Oh yeah, no. I think it might have been my best performance yet. In fact, I felt particularly inspired after the conversation that John and I had, and then nearly dying and missing a day. It just felt right, So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it was wonderful as always.
it seems like it. Everybody seemed happy, so I mean that's good.
Good.
You want coming back, so
You make me a good profit?
Oh yeah, no, it was a good night. I
That's good.
we gotta offset the price of that bow.
Yep.
Everything all right? You were gone for a bit though. Did you find out whatever you're trying to find out, or do whatever you wanted to do? Everything good, better, safe, smart, whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, I think so.
The lady, she came over to you, Doug, Thicket, while I was on stage. Did you let her know that we were successful?
Well, she knows that we've returned. She also knows that John accomplished whatever his task was, and that Gambit was not with us, but also was unsure of what exactly she wanted us to tell him. So Does that answer your question?
Sure. Thanks, Doug. I mean, I'm technically just trying to comfort Doug. So if you want me to roll deception, I can. But like,
That's up to you two. Y'all, it's player interaction. It's up to y'all.
all right, Doug, are you still trying to figure out how to read people in like in social situations, or are you still not sure if Doug's at that point yet?
Are you asking Doug?
No, like Chris is asking Jack. Is Doug at the place where he's trying to learn social interactions, or is he still like not sure? Whatever, who cares?
Well, I mean, he is slowly learning all the different types of interactions.
Okay, but does he care enough to try to pay attention to start learning it on his own, or is he just still waiting to kind of be taught stuff?
I mean, he's always welcome to insight, but whether or not he gets that advice that's given to him is another thing.
Okay, but he's still at the point where he's just like, if someone teaches him something, he wants to learn it or try to, but he's not actively trying to pursue reading outside of that. Is that right?
I mean, correct. Just because he hasn't had like a book, on his track.
Then Mikey, you let me know. But my best guess then is that he would think that Grand is pleased with Doug's response.
And he thinks that Goran is pleased with Doug's response.
Or Doug is pleased with Grand's. Yeah, Doug thinks that Grand is pleased with Doug's response. Yeah, there.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so, all right. Well, again, but we're going to need to speak with her at some point. We need to kind of nail down some of this stuff, and honestly, I need to ask a pseudo favor or some kind of something anyway. So, if she doesn't come back before bed, I will leave a note to speak with her in the morning. Are you willing to meet with me and her in the morning, Gambit?
Sure.
All right. Then Garan goes back to the bar and prepares a note for her to say, "Hey, can you meet with Gambit and I shortly after breakfast around like 8:30?"
And Joe looks over. Nice job. Good performance.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully, I continue to do well. I really enjoy your stage. I really enjoy your audience. The people here, everything is absolutely lovely. It's brilliant, honestly, and I look forward to continuing my trend.
He gives a tusk smile. Glad you'd say so. We really like having you here.
Indeed, I will be sad to go Sunday, but the road calls.
Anytime you're in town, I'm sure the lady would be happy to have you back.
I look forward to it. Anyway, if you could please give her this note upon her return. Now, of course, if you see me talking to her, then you won't need to do that. Or she may just, if you give it to her and then she's like, "Oh, I already met with him," then but I'm hoping to speak with her before I go to bed. But if not, then I'd speak with her in the morning. So
typically, if she heads out, she doesn't come back. I think I saw her leave a few minutes ago.
Right.
She might come back. You can try looking for her. Her house is the house is, as he gives you directions down a couple of streets. Just give it a knock. She might respond, but yeah.
No, it's fine. I'll leave it to her thoughts or whatever is on her heart.
She'll probably show up in the morning then.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it. And would you think 8:30 is too early for her? Should I wait until later?
No, she'll be here before then.
Okay. All right. Then yeah. So I figure breakfast and then about 8:30 would be fine. So I'm probably just gonna have a few more cups with the mates and head on up shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Welcome. We'll be closing up the kitchen soon, so let us know quickly if you want anything.
If you have any leftover, I can go for some bacon. I know it's early or late for bacon, but sometimes people like bacon on their sandwiches and such. So if you have that, I'd love.
We'll be happy to make some. Don't worry.
All right, thank you.
As you rejoin the others,
head back to the table.
Garan returns.
Hey, Garan.
Yeah.
What is the look when someone is interested about food they've never tried before.
You mean just like what kind of face does a person typically make?
Yes. How would you describe that?
It could be something like this, and it could be something like that, and so basically, I guess performance. I'm gonna try to like show him kind of like the different possible looks that a person might give when they are curiously interested in something. Does that make sense, Micah?
Yeah, make performance. Say it's like an acting check.
Right.
What kind of looks are these? Are these like looks of excitement, curiosity?
Yeah, just like the very like maybe like 4, 5, 6 different types of looks of like, oh, okay, I'm interested. Or like if you've ever seen like the Vince McMahon meme where he's like, like that, like different things like that. So, oh, nice.
Doug seems to understand them. Is Thicket paying attention as well?
Yes.
What exactly do you... So, Garan is giving like 5 or 6 different kinds of like excited, curious looks.
Yeah, just something to say like I have interest in this thing that I'm not sure about.
And like
taking it as food, as they've described, it would not Thicket and Doug. It wouldn't quite match what you saw earlier.
You're gonna be like, no, that doesn't seem quite like I was thinking.
Well, can you kind of give me the face that you mean?
Thicket will do his best with his cat face.
Yeah, Thicket has a fairly limited range of facial features.
Oh, I thought he was Puss in Boots. Okay.
That's fair. It's just, even if it's...
He's Puss in Boots without the charisma, is what he is.
Yeah, he's Puss in Boots without the charisma, and it's still not a normal human
I can roll performance.
Both of you roll. Okay, go ahead. Roll performance. We'll see how you do.
Still more than Lion King 2019.
It's surprisingly
that's
decent.
That's 16. That's solid. Yeah. Okay, so what do I really see? Because obviously it's not that.
Make an
so what do I really?
Check.
Oh man, that's dirty. I'm not. I ain't gonna pass that.
Doug has a hard time trying to convey.
I'm not gonna pass this insight. Like I figured, like I would know like what people look like. I figured like reading people, but all right, let's go for it.
Doug was doing that based off of just seeing if that was the exact same face that Thicket made earlier.
The best kind of look that you can, or the best kind of thing you can come up with, Garan, is that it's a very far away look, like they're thinking about something.
Okay, well,
Gambit, make your own insight check because you're in the conversation.
Nobody knows.
You don't get any much either.
Okay, I mean, I suppose that could be a kind of interest. I mean, it's more like a pensive sort of like, thought of like kind of imagining how it would go out, like how it would play out after having that food. I mean, that's the best that I could say with the way I understand what you're doing. Maybe I need more context. What was exactly happening? Were you...
Lady Grace Navania came up and asked us about how things went with the bandits. And then I told her that I didn't like her. And she started talking about Gambit, and like I asked her about how she knew Gambit, and so she was saying that she saw Gambit's posters, and
at this point the place is more
and then
or less empty.
she got the face.
Oh.
A plate of bacon is brought out to you, Garan.
All right. Well, yeah. Then I just start like eating it like absentmindedly. So like, if there's a little bit of bacon, I eat a little bit of bacon, and I'm thankful. If there's a lot of bacon, I'm eating a lot of bacon.
There's a pretty hefty amount of bacon.
Okay. Well,
You
at
made a
some
lot
point,
of money for them. It's
me to get sick. If there's enough for me to get sick, then I'm probably gonna have to make a con save. But regardless, either
in
way,
addition to the, it's not just bacon.
Okay.
There are actually a couple of eggs. It looks like they had made some scrambled eggs, and there is also some sort of sweet bread, a roll, sort of maybe a cinnamon roll type thing, on the plate
Nice.
as
Breakfast
well.
dinner.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He seems to have taken it as a breakfast mood.
Nice. I love it. I'm gonna go. I'll go tip him and the dwarf lady later on my way up. Okay, so yeah, I'm absolutely manually munching it, and all right. Well, I have to be honest. Then there's a couple things that could be. More than likely, she was trying to think of how to repair any sort of issue that might hinder the events of Friday. That's the probable thing based on what I think you're saying about her face and so forth. But a couple alternatives are that simply she maybe was once an adventurer and she misses the life. Another possibility is that she did not want to upset or offend Gambit in some way, and maybe she's feeling remorse about that. Or, and this is possible, but who knows, she actually might have a bit of a crush on Gambit. She may like him and find him attractive or interesting or dangerous or whatever. And so, but I think probably the best bet is that she's more concerned that something could make Friday go awry. So, I mean, I don't know, Gambit, if you're interested in a relationship of some sort, I mean, you just straight ask her, because, just say, hey, is based on what my friends kind of said, there's a possibility that maybe you are interested in me, and if that's true, I'm flattered, but I don't recommend in the future anyone that you're attracted to that you kind of blackmail them. And so, I mean, at the very least, you could at least correct whatever. But if you're worried that it could overcomplicate things for Friday and you just want to get this business over and done with, then I would say don't bother saying something, because again, there's no without not being there. Like, I don't know what happened. That's a shot in the dark. Like I said, I think the real probable thing is that she's worried about what could go wrong for Friday. Because if you're not here, then, oh no, did something happen to you? Or if you're that scared, do you quickly leave before you can actually help her? And then, so I think that's probably what it is.
Gron, I don't see how you can get all of that with just one look. I guess I have a lot to learn. But I don't think she considers Gambit dangerous at all. From what I remember, she's like, yeah, he's
At
not.
least not anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, all right. Well, let me explain that. So, when a woman, like, when I meant, and when I was saying that she might see him as dangerous, I don't necessarily mean like she's in danger of her life, but that like he's dangerous and mysterious, and that like that brings about something in at least in women, most women, the idea of like, I want to know this person. It entices them to want to know more. It's not for all women, of course. I'm not trying to it's not, blanket statements are only blankets because they cover a lot. They don't cover everyone. Have you ever seen any blanket that is everywhere across the whole entire earth, and everyone is covered? No, you don't see that, because that's the whole point of a blanket. The blanket is about the size of the bed, and if you're not in the bed, then it doesn't cover you. So anyway, just understand that I didn't mean that she's afraid that Gambit will kill her, but more like she's interested in Gambit because of him being dangerous and mysterious. So, not really exactly what I meant. I'm sorry. I understand maybe the confusion. And yes, you believe it or not, with a look, you can do a lot. There's a reason why I try to be mindful of both my words and how I portray them. Like I technically never really outright lied to Thicket until he pressed me into a moment where I unfortunately had to lie, and then he was able to catch me in that lie. Until then, I had only been bending the truth. And so that's kind of how that works. And like I've said before, when you're speaking honestly, you don't have to tell everyone everything all the time. So, speaking honestly is, hey, I feel this way about you. But it's also honest, you speak honestly, like, I just vomited 2 days ago, or I need to go to the bathroom right now, or I am literally going to the bathroom in my pants. There's a level of honesty that you don't need to do, depending on the situation. And so you can always be honest without always saying everything. And that's kind of the way that I approach life. And I think that there's a benefit to it because not everybody needs to, or even wants to hear everything that you have to say at all times.
So
Wow.
I can be truthful by just giving part of. Well, I guess I can always be 100% honest, but I don't have to express my honest opinion or thought at the same time that I'm thinking it or at the same time that it's done. I can kind of space it out.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Like, you have to make judgment calls. You can be 100% honest without being 100% endless, if that makes sense. Every thought that pops in your head. I'm hungry. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh, you know what? What was that person saying the other day? That would be 100% endless. Does that make sense? The point is that you're not constantly talking, so you're automatically already doing this anyway. Nobody is constantly talking. I mean, I talk a lot, and I still don't say everything that I think. So when it comes to it, there's just sometimes you say more, sometimes you say less, and it doesn't make you a liar. What makes you a liar is when you outright tell not the truth. And again, I did not lie to Thicket or any of you until Thicket put me in that position to have to. And then I was just hoping to get away with it to end the situation. It didn't happen that way, and that's fine. And ultimately I'm glad because it turned to work out, and Thicket and I resolved that, and now I would give my life for Thicket. But some of that has to be earned. Some of that has to be lived through. You can't just. You don't ever want to start out fully trusting everyone, and you don't ever want to start out fully doubting everyone. You want to start somewhere in the middle, and I recommend closer to the side of trust. But always keep the fact that they might not be trustworthy. So am I willing to trust them anyway? And once you understand that, then that's when you can make the decision of what you want to tell them or not. Doug just I'm leaving the situation. He just runs away.
Doug does a cartwheel out of his chair.
Doug was just seeing how much his brain was in overload with all of the information.
So it's mental gymnastics? Is that what that is?
Mental gymnastics. Perfect. Intelligence-based acrobatics. I'm going to use that. I don't know when I'm going to, but at some point I'm going to call for a mental gymnastics check.
No, that's awesome. I love it. That's dope. That's
an amazing idea.
I'm glad we had this.
So I guess Doug's mental capacity is halfway at this point. Which is a lot for him, being that a lot was just said.
Best I can tell you is that I will continue to try to teach you these things. And you just do the best that you can to learn them. And hopefully you can continue to teach me in combat, because I'm wanting to get better. I spoke with Gambit earlier about his armor and so forth, and it looks like we actually have similar armor, so that didn't do much, and it's more his skills and stuff. So whatever it can be, so that if I need to, I can hold off a foe temporarily until you can get there.
I mean, I would be glad to help in combat. However, I tend not to wear armor, so I kind of just use brute strength for that. and my like naturally resistant faunus skin, but yeah, combat is maybe something I could help with.
Right. Well, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my delicious breakfast for dinner, and get ready to head to bed. Hopefully, it'll be a good day tomorrow.
Oh, this would be a great time to check in to see if I retained anything. And so Doug immediately just looks at Thicket. It's like, Thicket, have you had bacon?
Yes.
Never mind. Wait, Thicket, have you had this sweetened bread of sorts?
I've had a lot of different kinds of bread. I don't. Probably.
Doug just points at the plate of like, is there anything on this plate you haven't had?
What all is on the plate?
It's eggs, bacon, and basically a cinnamon roll.
I don't think Thicket's had a cinnamon roll.
Then the sweetened bread, you have not had this particular
Okay.
kind.
So Doug just intently stares at Thicket and is like, so what do you think of this?
It looks good.
Do you want to try it?
He's
Yeah.
This is an experiment.
Hey, why you offering my food? Get your own.
Yeah, Doug didn't even like put two and two together that he was just taking from your plate.
You could have asked me first.
Is
Fine. And he cuts it in half and gives half over to Thicket.
How do Thicket's eyes look?
Well, he's concerned right now because we just stole Goron's food.
and so Doug is analyzing that concerned look as if it correlates to the food and not necessarily what just happened. So Goron, Thicket seems to be kind of like open-faced, like jaw dropped, like the eyes are a bit wide. About the cinnamon roll, what would that imply?
I mean, probably feels bad that you're trying to offer someone else's food from their own plate.
Oh, so this face is not just based off of I've never had this before.
I don't think so. That doesn't look like the curious hunger face. It looks like the, oh no, is this okay? What have I done? I feel bad.
So Doug just kind of puts the half cinnamon roll back on your plate and kind of like
Taking
like-
it back away from Thicket.
Doug, no, you have to slow down. Look, ask first, okay? Look, ask first. Say, is this all right if I do this? All right, that's how boundaries work.
Doug just kind of sighs because he's like, how am I supposed to test this if Thicket's face isn't even related to food?
Because it's related to the moment and what just happened. Here, I've already cut it in half. Thicket, here you go. Enjoy it.
But you did such a good performance tonight. You should eat up.
I'm eating. I am. That's the whole point. I actually, worked up a little bit of a sweat, so I was a little bit hungrier. But no, it's fine. It's fine. He's trying to test something. You hadn't had this before, so when you first offered the idea of it, did you see how thick it looked at that time, Doug? Because that's the look that you're trying to use to compare, not her more recent look of shock and realization.
His more recent look, but you would know that. Your character would know that.
Yeah. Yep.
So all right, so that's the point. Okay, so when you ask the question or when you try to decipher something, take just that moment as it is. Don't wait 4 or 5 other moments later and then say that's connected to the same thing. Because if, for instance, right, we're talking, we're laughing, we're having fun, but 5 seconds from now someone came in and said, "Oh no, the library's on fire," then we would all look like horrified and we'd go rushing out. You wouldn't think, "Oh, they were just laughing a moment ago. Clearly they're, you know, the reason why they're horrified is because the joke wasn't funny." Does that make sense?
It does, but I think the main difference in this case would be there were verbal cues. Like someone legitimately said, "There's a fire," so we would react to that. But in this case, like there was no verbal cue, and Thicket's face went from something before and then something after the cinnamon roll was cut.
No, I said, "Are you going to take my food from me?" And I said, "Fine," and then I gave it to her, gave it to him. That was what I said. That was the verbal cue.
I guess I was just too focused on Thicket's face.
Speaking of
To-
nonverbal cues, how does Gambit look during all this?
David has zoned out.
Gambit's like, this is just par for the course.
This is an
No,
average.
he's not even thinking that. He's just overwhelmed at the moment. He
He's
kind of tuned back in when Garan said the library is on fire, and he's like, "What?" And then he was like, "Oh wait a minute," and he went back. He's probably thinking about how to do a burglary.
How to do a burglary.
Did Gambit hear anything that Gron mentioned about the lady?
Yeah, he did, and he looked uncomfortable when Garan said that she might have a crush on him, but then he looked less uncomfortable after Garan gave him advice on how to deal with it.
Well, thanks, Goran, for a lesson. I'm sure at some point this will come in handy. Hopefully, I remembered that verbal cues can instantly change a situation.
I think in the midst of combat, you understand it well. I think if you, maybe the way for you to understand it better is for you to understand that, like, social interactions are like combat of the heart or combat of the mind. And so you have to be aware of what's happening around you and how people are thinking and reacting so that you can best perform in that emotional, mental combat scenario. Does that make sense?
Yes. So it's like if someone pulls a sword on me, I know that they don't have any good intentions towards me. Therefore, my reaction is to retaliate.
To protect
And
yourself.
yes.
Right. Now,
So-
emotionally or mentally, go on, keep going. You're doing good.
So socially, if someone gives me a face that I do not like, I in turn provide a similar, or I socially interact in a way that shows that I am also not liking what I'm seeing.
You can, if you think that you rightly understand the situation. But there's nothing wrong with asking questions. You can say, "I'm sorry, why did you make that face? I don't really understand." and then see how that response goes, because that's also a response. Like, so for example, if someone pulls a sword on you, you say, do you really want to fight me? You might say that, right? And then they're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. Then you defend yourself, right? But maybe just by someone pulling a sword on you, maybe they're there to arrest you, and you're like, why are you trying to arrest me? And they're like, because you're Fred who murdered this guy. I'm like, I'm not Fred. Do you understand?
Yes. So ask questions before jumping into something.
Right. If you think you rightly understand, if you think you understand the situation, like if a person comes to you with a sword and they say, I'm going to kill you, and they start trying to swing at you immediately, then yes, defend yourself. But if they say, I'm going to kill you, and then there's a moment of pause, that gives you time to say, why would you want to kill me? Likewise, in a social, emotional, mental situation, they look at you funny, or they say something, or something, and it somehow doesn't seem right. Say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Are you willing to elaborate that for me? Then that gives them the opportunity to be like, yeah, I can't believe that you just said or did that thing just now. And you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I don't always get social situations. Can you forgive me? And can we figure out how to better understand this? And boom, before you even know it, look at that. There it is. Everything's solved.
Okay, so since we've been together for a while now, like, I don't think that you would ever pull a sword on me, but if you did, I would think that my initial reaction would be to hold back prior to just drawing my own sword. Because I
Perfect.
would,
Exactly. Yes, because like let's say I was under some kind of charm, control magic spell, something. And now I'm trying to attack you because maybe a ghost possessed me or something. Now you just murder me when you could just as easily been like, hey, Thicket, can you cast a spell to help clear Gron's mind? That's
Okay,
perfect. That's brilliant. You've got it.
so if something is off, it's best to not retaliate or react, but to try to understand a situation more rather than going off pure, I guess, raw information.
Right. Because the way that we sometimes interpret things is not correct. Not always. You need to trust yourself. I'm not saying don't, doubt all of your gut instincts. I'm saying be willing to talk it out. Be willing to try to learn more information before you make a full decision. Because if you can go into every situation saying, all right, I'm willing to learn, you're going to be much happier with your decisions. But yeah, I think you're well on your way, Doug. I think that you've got a great grasp tonight. Well done.
As the group finishes up blanking out and not blanking out for the evening, I don't know, what is nature for in this case, Doug?
I meant perception, but it was a misclick.
I was really expecting some pun, honestly, for why you chose that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess how he would react naturally, but
Or the nature of humanity, you know?
yeah. So,
But
but
as
no.
As the party clears up for the evening, and everyone returns to their various rooms, getting whatever amount of rest they can or do, I can go ahead and ask if there's anything that y'all would like to do over the long rest, or we can wait for next time to do the long rest. I don't know if y'all have anything in particular. It'll take us 5 seconds next time, or we can do it right now. Is there anything anyone wants to do over the long rest?
Gron wants to sleep, have breakfast, and up with the lady.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep, breakfast, lady, Thicket.
Thicket has been thoroughly confused throughout this conversation,
I'm pretty sure
so
at
he's
some
gonna
point
sleep it off.
Thicket's eyes just did that anime thing where there's just swirls, and he just sat there for part of it like, what? Is Doug doing anything?
I think afterwards, just get up, breakfast, and then...
Okay, so just a normal long rest.
Yep.
For the party. And that's where we'll end the session proper for the night. Lots of talking and roleplay. I am not at.
Opposed.
I'm not opposed. I am happy. That was fun. Boop. And
It
award
was fun.
experience. Everyone gets 660 experience.
Woo!
Thicket and Garon, they're both about 2k away.
Let's go.
Closing in. Huh. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
I got to just pull up a chair and sit and listen again. It's great. I enjoy these times. I'm so glad the people that were around to observe Grace's reactions were the two people that had the least context to understand it. It was a good time.
It is really interesting because like you have like Gambit and Garon who are similar enough that like all the social stuff is like it's not really a problem for them. They're just like, yeah, it's just like this. It's like it's simple, whatever, and like whatever like gaps they have, they kind of fill out each other and they help. And then you have like Thicket and Doug who are both like, people talk. They say words sometimes.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording here for the evening. Thanks for coming and watching on YouTube. We appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube.
But yeah, I think it's also